Hi, Todd Martin here. In this Tai Chi Code, Walking Code combined video, we're going to be reviewing both parting the wild horse's mane and brush knee. In the first video we had in this series, we did parting the wild horse's mane, which is this motion here. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing brush knee, which is this motion here. So I want to combine these two movements in the same video so we can compare and contrast. And before I get started with the actual techniques, I want to get into the reason why I'm doing these videos, the Walking Code videos and the Tai Chi Code videos. And it brings me back to when I first started taking Tai Chi lessons more than a decade ago. And I was taught, and everybody in Tai Chi is taught, that rotation of the core or rotation of the waist creates each one of the movements. But a frustration I ran into was when I asked the instructor what the difference between this rotation, turning to the left, and this rotation, turning to the left were, there wasn't really an answer. And if you notice, there's a big difference between these two motions. Even though my body appears to be turning in one direction, the same direction for both movements, in one direction my left arm is going from low to high, and in the other movement my left arm is going from high to low, and then the right arm is also doing opposite things. In parting the wild horse's mane, my right arm is going from high to low and forward to back. And in brush knee, my right arm is going to go from high and stay high, but go from back to forward. But at the same time, the waist appears to just be turning counterclockwise in each movement. And I believe if you watch any other Tai Chi video on any of these techniques, what you'll see is the instructor saying, turn the waist, and then turn the waist. And we all know in Tai Chi that all movement is generated by the waist, and the arms are not supposed to move independently. But if all we're doing is turning the waist clockwise or counterclockwise, how is that distinguishing this motion from this motion? Or if we look at other Tai Chi movements, Fair Lady works the shuttle, this motion, or ward off, this motion. All of them have the same apparent rotation of the waist if we just think of it as a counterclockwise circle, but the arms are doing radically different things. So you can see that there has to be more to it than just turning the waist to the left or turning the waist to the right to create all these variable movements that we get in Tai Chi. And this applies to any other sort of activity we're doing, whether some other athletic activity or whether it's just walking or walking downstairs, walking downhill, upstairs, uphill. All of these things require a real finesse going on in the core. And I wanted to get to the bottom of what that is, because we really can't help people improve, whether it's for their health or for an athletic pursuit like Tai Chi or playing football. If you can't really explain what's going on, it's very difficult. In most cases, teachers rely on see one, do one. So you watch me do it and then you try to repeat what I'm doing. And at a certain point that has limitations, and I wanted to get beyond that. And that's what I do with the Tai Chi Code and the Walking Code, really explain exactly what's happening with the waist rotation that really does get to the bottom of what the difference between all of these various movements are. Let's get back to parting the wild horse's mane and brush knee. In parting the wild horse's mane, which we discussed in a previous video, let me back up. I'm lowering my forefoot and then I shift forward and my left arm rises and my right arm drops and goes back. We discussed in that previous video on parting the wild horse's mane, during the action of that weight shift, my upper torso or the thoracic spine is actually turning clockwise, while at the same time my lumbar spine and my lower abs are turning counterclockwise. So I have two counter rotations. Clockwise rotation of my upper torso and counterclockwise rotation of the lower torso. It's the clockwise rotation of the upper torso that is bringing my arms in this direction, while my waist is turning this way, and it results in the overall effect of that action. So it looks like my whole body is turning to the left during this movement, but in fact, my upper body from the rib cage up is turning to the right, while my lower torso from my rib cage down to my waist is turning to the left, all at the same time. And so that's what's creating the effect. So let's look at the comparison with brush knee. In brush knee, I begin in this position, and you'll see a lot of people just say, rotate the waist and strike out. But if we just do that without looking at the nuance, then we're just moving the hands. And I can turn and I can move my hands however I want, and it looks like I'm doing something. But if my hand movement is not connected to my body, then I'm not really doing anything effective. So we have to understand what the waist is really doing to make the movement happen in the arms. In brush knee, what I'm doing is two sequences combined. The first one is brushing down. During this brush down action, my upper torso is turning to the right, and my lower torso is turning to the left, and I'm extending my left hip joint. So I'm pushing my knee back against the ground as I turn my waist from the lumbar spine this way, and I turn my upper torso this way, clockwise. And the ultimate effect is that sort of preparation. During this part of the movement, I'm shifting my weight back, prepping the strike. My upper torso is turning clockwise, my lower torso is turning counterclockwise, and I'm pushing back with my left hip. That's the motion. Now I'm going to switch directions, and I'm going to turn my upper torso counterclockwise, and I'm going to turn my lower torso clockwise, and I'm going to push forward with my right hip. So both of these Tai Chi techniques are push. I'm doing push going backwards from my left hip for the preparation, and then push going forwards during the final strike. So I just showed the difference in the rotational elements in parting the wild horse's mane and brush knee. We have opposite directions of rotation of the upper and lower torso in the two different movements, but we also have a difference in the hip energy. I have two ways of using my hips. I can push off the ground with my hips. That's one type of energy, pushing back. Or I can lift my hip forward, hip flexion, and pull it forward, pulling my body forward rather than pushing it back against the ground. Those are two different ways to use the hips. And in parting the wild horse's mane, I'm using that pulling action of lifting forward or pulling my knee forward with hip flexion as I do the waist rotation that we just discussed. And in brush knee, I'm pushing back. And so there's a hip energy difference in addition to the difference in the waist rotation. I'll show you what happens in parting the wild horse's mane if instead of lifting forward with my knee, I push my knee back. I immediately end up converting this palm up motion, which is more of a yin feeling, to a striking action, which is more of a yang feeling. It's converted by the change of my hip from pulling forward to pushing back. And so the hip energy directly reflects in what's going on with the hands. Now let's go through brush knee in more detail, starting from this position where I step out on my heel. I'm going to brush down, strike forward, pivot, change weight, step up, and as I step up, my body is going to circle counterclockwise, then circle back clockwise, and step out on the heel, brush down, strike forward. I'm going to back up and do it again. I'll do it from the side view. One more time. So that's the side view on brush knee, and we can see the stepping pattern and then the transition from brush knee left to brush knee right. Now I'm going to back up and show the transition from crane cools its wings, which we did in lesson number 2, and transition that to brush knee, and then move through 3 different variations or directions of brush knee. We're going to start with the end of parting the wild horse's mane. Half step up, shift the weight back, collect in single leg balance, and crane cools its wings. Now we transition to brush knee by lowering my right arm, the palm turns up, and then I turn the waist clockwise. I'm going to turn my upper torso counterclockwise while my lower torso continues turning clockwise, and that's going to bring my right palm up to my ear. Now I'm going to step out using torsional rotation on the left, the same as the step out in parting the wild horse's mane, and now I'm going to push back and down and then push forward. Now I'm going to pivot the same as I did in parting the wild horse's mane. I'm going to flex my left hip with torsion on the right. Now the transition here to brush knee right is going to be extension of my right hip with torsion on the left, and then I'm going to flex my right hip and do counterclockwise concordant rotation. Now torsional rotation on the left, meaning clockwise upper torso rotation and counterclockwise lower torso rotation. Now I step out again on the heel and push back and down, push forward.